The Rifleman, 1958 to 1963, remains one of television's most beloved westerns, capturing the hearts of viewers with its gripping storytelling and unforgettable characters. But behind the scenes of this iconic show lies a deeper, more emotional story, one marked by tragedy and loss. Many of the talented actors who brought the town of North Fork to life have since passed away, some under heartbreaking and tragic circumstances. From personal struggles and private battles to sudden and untimely deaths, their real lives often stood in stark contrast to the rugged strength they portrayed on screen. In this video, we take a poignant look back at the stars of The Rifleman who have tragically died. Chuck Connors was born on April 10, 1921, and took on the role of Lucas McCain in The Rifleman in 1958 at the age of 37. Lucas was the righteous patriarch, tough, moral, and swift with his customized Winchester rifle, shaping the image of the ideal Western father. Off-screen, however, Connors was a complex and often controversial figure. His athletic past as a professional baseball and basketball player gave him an imposing presence, but his behavior on set raised eyebrows. He frequently undermined directors, insisting on creative control and berating crew members when things didn't go his way. Privately, Connors led a chaotic personal life with 2 failed marriages and a string of rumored affairs, including alleged flings with much younger co-stars and female fans. Friends described him as charming yet manipulative, with a penchant for surrounding himself with enablers. Despite public admiration, insiders often spoke of his egotism and controlling nature. By the late 1980s, his health declined sharply due to heavy smoking. He died on November 10, 1992, at the age of 71 from lung cancer and pneumonia. Paul Fix was born on March 13, 1901, and was 57 when The Rifleman launched in 1958, casting him as Marshal Micah Torrance. A quiet authority in the town, Micah was the voice of wisdom, hardened by the bottle, but redeemed by duty. In real life, Fix was a veteran of Hollywood's early years, with connections stretching back to the silent film era. Yet his reputation was colored by his aloof demeanor and rumored temper. Known to withdraw between scenes, he rarely socialized with cast members, preferring solitude or long conversations only with old friend John Wayne, whose iconic Western style Fix reportedly helped craft. Multiple actors spoke of Fix's irritation with child actors and his disdain for what he called TV fluff, even as he cashed paychecks from the genre. He suffered private tragedies, including the loss of his wife and a strained relationship with his daughter, whose career never took off despite his mentorship. Fix's final years were plagued by failing health and bitterness toward the industry he once helped shape. He died on October 14, 1983, from kidney failure at the age of 82. Johnny Crawford was born on March 26, 1946, and was only 12 when he began playing Mark McCain in 1958. Mark's innocence and emotional depth made him a beloved symbol of father-son dynamics in Western TV, but Johnny's real life was far more turbulent. A former Mouseketeer turned teen idol, Crawford was thrust into fame with little support. His sudden popularity led to a frenzied career in music and television, all heavily micromanaged by his handlers. Though no public scandals marred his image, his adult years were marked by profound disillusionment. He drifted through minor roles in local theater, often dependent on old industry friends for work. There were whispers of financial mismanagement, with some alleging that family members mishandled his earnings from childhood. In his later years, Crawford withdrew from public life entirely, living quietly as his health deteriorated. His diagnosis of Alzheimer's shocked fans, but insiders said he had already been suffering memory loss and confusion for years before it was publicly acknowledged. He died on April 29, 2021, at the age of 75. Bill Quinn was born on May 6, 1912, and joined the Rifleman in 1958 at the age of 46, playing bartender Frank Sweeney. As the silent observer behind a saloon counter, Sweeney witnessed North Fork's turmoil without ever being the center of it, much like Quinn's career. A journeyman actor with deep roots in vaudeville and early radio, Quinn worked consistently but never broke through. Despite being the father-in-law of comedy legend Bob Newhart, he resented the idea that his connection brought him more recognition than his decades of work. While never embroiled in public scandal, Quinn was known behind the scenes for being overly rigid, even paranoid, about professionalism. Former co-stars recalled his disdain for ad-libbing and his habit of correcting others on set, which earned him a reputation as uptight and humorless. Though his public image remained scandal-free, colleagues whispered about a deep insecurity stemming from being perpetually cast in minor roles. He passed away on April 29, 1994, from natural causes at the age of 81. Joe Higgins was born on July 12, 1925, and joined the Rifleman in 1960 at the age of 35 as Nils Swinson, the reliable blacksmith of North Fork. Nils was warm, supportive, and dependable, qualities the audience loved, but which Higgins privately found limiting and creatively stifling. Despite his homespun image and folksy appeal in sheriff-themed commercials, Higgins's off-screen life hinted at darker frustrations. His academic success, earning a Ph.D., masked a relentless need for validation that alienated colleagues. Known to demand script revisions and challenge directors, he once walked off a set mid-take over a creative disagreement. In later years, Higgins's obsession with controlling his image led to frequent feuds with producers, and whispers of him leveraging commercial success to bully his way into larger roles. His personal life was tightly guarded, yet rumors persisted of a cold, distant persona at home. On June 15, 1998, Higgins died at 72 of a heart attack, having left behind a career tainted by ambition and unfulfilled potential. Patricia Blair was born on January 15, 1933, and joined the Rifleman in 1962 at age 29 as Lou Mallory, a sharp-witted, self-made businesswoman who disrupted the town's male-centric balance. On screen, she radiated confidence and defiance, but behind the scenes, Blair fought a more personal battle. Known for her beauty and commanding screen presence, she struggled with the industry's obsession with youth. Sources close to the Daniel Boone set claim Blair demanded the dismissal of a young Veronica Cartwright to avoid looking older by comparison, an allegation that stuck and stained her professional reputation. Several insiders also alleged that she played power games with producers, leveraging her sex appeal to maintain her roles while quietly sabotaging rising actresses she saw as competition. Her marriage to producer Martin Colbert was reportedly cold and transactional, and Blair was said to be deeply unhappy in private. She later disappeared from Hollywood almost entirely, fading into obscurity before dying of breast cancer on September 9, 2013, at the age of 80. Harlan Ward, born on November 6, 1917, was 41 when he debuted in 1958 as John Hamilton, the level-headed banker of North Fork. While his character exuded calm authority, Ward's real life was wrapped in secrecy and guardedness. A workaholic by nature, Ward often clashed with younger actors, reportedly refusing to rehearse scenes more than once, considering it a waste of film. Though he appeared in hundreds of roles, his career stalled in the late 1960s, and some blamed his reputation for being aloof and difficult on set. He never married and was rarely seen in public, fueling speculation about his reclusive lifestyle. Some insiders hinted at a long-term battle with depression and even questioned if Ward's unexplained hiatuses from acting were due to breakdowns or undisclosed illnesses. He died under vague circumstances on March 13, 1980, at 62, with the cause of death left undisclosed, leaving behind more questions than answers. Ralph Moody, born on November 5, 1886, joined the Rifleman as Doc Burridge in 1960 at age 74, appeared gentle and wise, but his life held complexities far from the benevolent healer he portrayed. Having spent decades in vaudeville, Moody was known in old entertainment circles for his short temper and controlling behavior. Behind the scenes, he reportedly resented being relegated to elderly or ethnic roles and once lashed out at casting directors for turning him into a stereotype. Some fellow actors avoided him entirely, citing his tendency to dominate rehearsals and belittle newcomers. Moody never married and was known for late-night poker games and heavy whiskey drinking, often showing up hungover to early morning shoots. Though few dared to confront him directly, many whispered about his intimidating presence and the trail of strained working relationships he left behind. He died of a heart attack on September 16, 1971, at the age of 84. Hope Summers, born on June 7, 1902, began her role as Hattie Denton at age 56 in 1958, portraying a gossip-prone but good-hearted general store clerk. Her cheery screen presence belied a deeply conflicted personal life. Known in radio circles as brilliant but combative, Summers earned the nickname the Iron Lady of voiceover for her intense control over performances. She reportedly had lifelong friction with female co-stars and was said to rewrite her own lines without permission. Off-set, Summers lived alone, never marrying, and became estranged from some family members who accused her of being emotionally cold and obsessively career-driven. Though no public scandal ever exploded, whispers of her backstage tantrums, disdain for lesser actors, and icy arrogance circulated widely in industry gossip. She died of heart failure on June 22, 1979, at age 77, a woman celebrated publicly yet quietly feared and resented by many peers. John Milford, born September 7, 1927, joined the Rifleman in 1959 at the age of 32 as Bro Hadley, a character marked by his stern pragmatism and occasional moral ambiguity. Milford was intensely driven, with perfectionism that often crossed into obsession. He once infamously rewrote pages of dialogue without permission, leading to heated arguments with writers. Though he had over 500 TV credits, many roles were short-lived, possibly due to his reputation for being combative and hypercritical. Colleagues described him as brilliant but unbearable, prone to undercutting co-stars to gain screen time. Off-screen, Milford's marriage collapsed amid rumors of infidelity, and he was estranged from one of his children. While praised for helping conceptualize the Hollywood Walk of Fame, his career never reached leading man status, leaving him frustrated and bitter. Milford died of melanoma on August 14, 2000, at age 72, haunted by a career of near misses and bridges burned. Glenn Strange was born on August 16, 1899, and was 59 when he played Joey Cole in The Rifleman in 1958. Joey Cole was silent, strong, and unsettling, traits Strange carried off-screen as well. A former rodeo man and part-time musician, Strange was a loner who rarely gave interviews, fueling mystery around his past. Though beloved for his role as Frankenstein's monster, he reportedly loathed the makeup process and once walked off set mid-filming, leading to a $10,000 fine and a temporary suspension from Universal. He was accused, though never formally charged, of bootlegging during the early 1930s. Before his acting career began, a rumor he always deflected with a grin. While no known scandals plagued his later life, Strange was said to harbor deep resentment for being typecast as a monster and battled alcoholism in private. According to one friend, he once said, "I've spent my whole life behind a mask." He died of lung cancer on September 20, 1973, age 74. John Anderson was born on October 20, 1922, and played Cass Callicott in The Rifleman in 1959 at the age of 37. Cass was a morally torn character, a man straddling justice and revenge, echoing the inner demons Anderson himself reportedly struggled with. While widely respected for his gravitas and intellectual depth, he held a master's degree in drama. Anderson's career was quietly haunted by rumors of emotional volatility on set. In the late 60s, he was abruptly dropped from a major stage production after clashing violently with a director, a scandal that was quietly buried by the studio. His devotion to his dying wife bordered on obsession, leading him to isolate himself from the industry for over a year, a period during which he reportedly turned to alcohol. Some co-stars privately described him as cold, even controlling, especially toward younger actors. Despite no public scandal, whispers of manipulative behavior behind the camera followed him until the end. He died of a heart attack on August 7, 1992, at the age of 69. Richard Devon was born on December 11, 1926, and was 33 when he portrayed Austin Stark in The Rifleman in 1959. Stark was menacing, calculating, and oddly seductive, qualities Devon channeled all too easily. Off-screen, Devon's sharp wit was often laced with arrogance, and his competitiveness became legend. He was once banned from a major studio for threatening a director during a casting dispute. Despite appearing in hundreds of roles, Devon never broke out as a star, a fact he reportedly blamed on a Jewish blacklist conspiracy, a bizarre claim that led to his quiet blacklisting from several networks in the mid-1970s. He was notorious for belittling extras and demanding script rewrites mid-shoot. Former crewmates remembered his intense rants, particularly during long shoots in heat. Though he never married, rumors swirled about his tumultuous private affairs, including one with a married soap opera actress that nearly led to divorce proceedings. He died on February 26, 2010, of vascular disease at age 83. Chris Alcati was born on October 23, 1922, and appeared as Ross in The Rifleman in 1959, age 37. Ross was the embodiment of Western villainy, calculated, looming, and chillingly persuasive. Alcati, frequently typecast as a heavy, once confided to a fellow actor that he hated being Hollywood's go-to thug. Beneath his gruff screen image, Alcati battled deep insecurities and a seething resentment toward the industry's rejection of his broader ambitions. He was once investigated, not charged, for his alleged involvement in a late-night brawl at a Palm Springs casino in 1963, which left a stuntman hospitalized. He also suffered from chronic pain due to a severe back injury on set, leading to a dependence on prescription medication, which reportedly altered his temperament. Despite his generosity to castmates, some claimed he held grudges and sabotaged younger actors he saw as competition. He died of lung cancer on June 30, 2004, at the age of 81. Dabbs Greer was born on April 2, 1917, and appeared as Finney in The Rifleman in 1959 at age 42. Finney's calm, sage-like presence belied the complexities of Greer's personal life. Known for his everyman charm, Greer lived a reclusive existence, never marrying and rarely appearing in public. But underneath the modest persona lay a man tormented by loneliness and an obsession with perfection. Former colleagues described him as kind but emotionally unreachable. He once walked off a project after a producer casually misquoted a line he'd written. Though scandal-free publicly, industry insiders noted his icy withdrawal from co-stars, and whispers circulated about an alleged long-term affair with a married studio executive, kept under wraps by mutual NDAs. A career-long bachelor, his solitary lifestyle led to rumors of mental health struggles in later life. He died on April 28, 2007, at the age of 90 from kidney and heart ailments. Peter Whitney was born on May 24, 1916, and was 43 when he played Andrew Bechtel in The Rifleman in 1959. Bechtel was domineering and aggressive, a role Whitney didn't just play, but inhabited, to the point where some directors feared working with him. Whitney's brooding presence masked a stormy private life. He was known for violent outbursts during rehearsals, and once allegedly punched a producer who suggested he lose weight for a role. His disdain for authority bordered on rebellion. He was fired from 2 TV projects in the 1960s for refusing to take direction. His weight, which became a casting limitation, also became a source of public ridicule. A humiliating People magazine profile in 1971 referred to him as the obese outlaw. In his final years, he was reportedly battling severe depression and alienation from his peers. He died of a heart attack on March 30, 1972, at the age of 55. Edgar Buchanan, born March 20, 1903, took on the role of Doc Burridge in The Rifleman in 1959 at age 56. Doc Burridge was charming, earthy, and rough-edged, traits Buchanan amplified with his real-life gruff warmth. But behind the laughter and gravel voice was a stormy man who never quite fit in. After leaving dentistry, his erratic behavior, often fueled by whiskey, earned him both love and side-eyes from colleagues. He was once removed from a film mid-shoot after a drunken tirade against the director. His long friendship with Glenn Ford was fraught with tensions, especially after rumors surfaced about a love triangle involving Ford's ex-wife. At home, Buchanan's marriage was reportedly cold, with his wife living separately during his final years. His son distanced himself from his father's chaotic lifestyle. Buchanan died on April 4, 1979, from a stroke and pneumonia at the age of 76, a beloved character actor but one whose private life was far less stable than his on-screen persona. Denver Pyle, born May 11, 1920, played Frank Hazlitt in The Rifleman in 1959 when he was 39. Hazlitt was gruff and unmovable, traits Pyle brought naturally from a life of hard labor and drifting. He was the classic American everyman on screen, but off-screen, he was a mystery wrapped in contradictions. Pyle's early life included brief jail time for brawling and accusations of union busting while working on shrimp boats in the Gulf. In Hollywood, he was known as the redneck intellectual, charming one moment, then flying into rants about government conspiracies and liberal media. Though married, he lived much of his later life alone, having cut ties with his only son after a financial dispute. Some co-stars described him as cold and unpredictable, claiming he often sabotaged younger actors who challenged him. Pyle died of lung cancer on December 25, 1997, at age 77, a respected Western icon but one who left behind a trail of fractured relationships and unfinished apologies. Jack Elam, born November 13, 1920, stepped into the role of Gates in The Rifleman in 1958 at age 38. Gates was a snarling outlaw, a role Elam made iconic thanks to his wild-eyed look, caused by a scissor stab in a childhood fight. But Elam's real-life story was even more lawless. Before acting, he was a bookkeeper with mob ties and was briefly investigated for skimming funds during a Hollywood accounting job. His switch to acting came after a bar brawl left a producer hospitalized and impressed by Elam's crazy eyes. Elam built a career playing lunatics and killers, yet was reportedly addicted to painkillers for years due to untreated injuries. On set, he was beloved for his stories but feared for his temper. He once threw a director through a dressing room door for calling him a one-trick pony. Though never arrested, his past was an open secret. Elam died on October 20, 2003, from congestive heart failure at age 82, a cult favorite with a dangerous edge. Richard Anderson, born August 8, 1926, played Duke Jennings in The Rifleman in 1959 at age 33. Jennings was smooth, confident, and sly, qualities Anderson could conjure with ease. Behind his gentleman image was a man wrestling with inner demons. Despite his later fame as Oscar Goldman, Anderson's early career was tainted by rumors of inappropriate behavior with younger actresses, none confirmed but whispered enough to cost him a few contracts. His personal life was equally tumultuous. 2 short-lived marriages ended with accusations of emotional neglect and infidelity. His second wife reportedly filed for divorce after discovering he was secretly engaged to another woman. Though he maintained a facade of civility, Anderson was considered manipulative by insiders, using charm to get roles and then icing out collaborators. Co-stars admired his talent, but called him impossible to truly know. Anderson died of natural causes on August 31, 2017, at the age of 91, his legacy carefully curated to hide the cracks beneath the polish. Robert Folk, born May 5, 1908, was 51 when he portrayed Toomey in The Rifleman in 1959. Toomey was the quintessential gruff, disillusioned Western man, ironically mirroring Folk's bitterness off-screen. Though he had a commanding presence in Westerns, many directors refused to work with him after repeated clashes over minor script issues. His marriage to actress Alice Frost was cold and loveless, plagued by accusations of verbal abuse and infidelity. Despite being childless, he was rumored to have fathered a son with a younger actress and paid hush money for decades to avoid scandal. Privately, Folk suffered from undiagnosed bipolar disorder, which contributed to erratic mood swings on set. He was known to throw objects when frustrated and once slapped a costume designer during an argument, an incident buried by studio PR. While he worked as an architectural draftsman, some saw it as a cover for his growing paranoia and obsession with being forgotten. He died on February 25, 1989, from coronary heart disease at 80. Warren Oates, born July 5, 1928, played Andrew Shelton in The Rifleman in 1958 when he was 30. His character was unhinged, driven by desperation and a violent streak, traits disturbingly similar to Oates' own demons. His screen presence was electric, but behind the scenes he was unpredictable and often hostile. He lived recklessly, crashing motorcycles, shooting guns off screen, and getting into bar fights that left him scarred. Oates' marriage to Vickery Turner collapsed due to his chronic womanizing and an infamous affair with an underage extra, which he narrowly escaped prosecution for thanks to studio intervention. Friends spoke of his deep mistrust of others and his obsessive journaling, filled with violent rants. His disdain for authority led to him being fired from 2 major productions and blackballed by multiple networks. Despite his cult status, he was broke near the end, having lost money in shady investments and gambling sprees in Reno. He refused medical help even as his chest pains worsened, insisting he wouldn't die like a coward. He suffered a fatal heart attack on April 3, 1982, at 53. Michael Pate, born February 26, 1920, appeared as Brad Davis in The Rifleman in 1958 at age 38. Brad was an ominous, enigmatic antagonist, a role Pate embraced with quiet menace. Celebrated in Australia as a Renaissance man, in Hollywood he was often labeled a sellout for playing Native American characters, despite being white, one of the most controversial aspects of his career. He defended it fiercely, calling it acting, not politics, which only deepened the backlash. His marriage to actress Philippa Rock was tense, marked by long separations and affairs on both sides. In 1971, an anonymous letter accused Pate of engaging in exploitative relationships with young actresses he mentored, though nothing was ever proven. He was known to berate colleagues in front of the crew, pushing some to tears, earning a reputation as a tyrant behind closed doors. Though later celebrated as a mentor, several protégés described him as manipulative and prone to outbursts. He returned to Australia, reportedly to escape mounting legal threats and bad press. He died of pneumonia and a chest infection on September 1, 2008, at the age of 88. Who is your favorite character in The Rifleman? How do you feel knowing that the actors have passed away? Feel free to leave your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this content, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell so you don't miss future videos. Thank you so much.